Question 1. Normal practice question. When conducting a title search in New Mexico, which of the following public records is most critical to examine to ensure there are no existing claims or encumbrances on the property? A. Tax liens filed with the IRS. B. Judgments filed with the local court. C. Mortgages recorded in the county clerk's office. D. Easements recorded with the property developer. Answer. C. Mortgages recorded in the county clerk's office. Explanation. In New Mexico, the county clerk's office is where official property records, such as deeds and mortgages, are recorded. A mortgage is a voluntary lien placed on the property as security for a loan. Examining these records is critical in determining any claims or encumbrances on the property. Tax liens, A, and judgments, B, are also important, but are typically handled through different processes, and easements, D, are often noted but may not affect the transfer of title. Focusing on recorded mortgages ensures that any outstanding financial obligations against the property are identified. Relevant rule. Public records, including mortgages, are a key part of the title search process as outlined in New Mexico's title insurance regulations. Question 2. Scenario-based question. Mr. Alvarez is purchasing a property in New Mexico and discovers that an old fence encroaches onto his neighbor's land. The title search reveals that there is no recorded easement for this encroachment. What should Mr. Alvarez do to resolve this issue before closing the transaction? A. File for adverse possession and wait for a court decision. B. Request that the title insurance company exclude the encroachment from coverage. C. Negotiate an encroachment agreement with the neighbor to resolve the issue. D. Accept the title as is, since encroachments are typically covered under standard policies. Answer. C. Negotiate an encroachment agreement with the neighbor to resolve the issue. Explanation. In situations involving encroachments like fences, the best course of action is to resolve the issue directly with the affected parties before closing. Mr. Alvarez should negotiate an encroachment agreement with the neighbor, ensuring legal documentation is in place to protect both parties. Filing for adverse possession is not appropriate as it requires a much longer time frame and specific legal requirements, excluding the encroachment. B. From coverage limits, protection, and standard title policies. D. Typically do not cover encroachments unless specifically endorsed. Relevant rule. Encroachments are considered title defects, and resolving them prior to closing ensures that the title is free of legal challenges. Question 3. Normal practice question. Which of the following is not a common reason for a title insurance claim related to a property in New Mexico? A. A forged signature on a deed. B. A boundary dispute with a neighboring property. C. A mortgage recorded after the sale of the property. D. Unpaid property taxes discovered after closing. Answer. C. A mortgage recorded after the sale of the property. Explanation. A mortgage recorded after the sale of the property would not typically be a title insurance claim, as title insurance protects against issues that existed before or at the time of sale. Claims for forged deeds, A. Boundary disputes, B. And unpaid property taxes, D. Are common as they directly affect the validity and ownership of the title. Title insurance is designed to protect against prior defects or undiscovered liens, not new liens like a post-sale mortgage. A relevant rule. Title insurance covers defects that exist before or during the issuance of the policy, as governed by New Mexico's title insurance laws. Question 4. Normal practice question. In New Mexico, which of the following would typically be excluded from coverage under a standard owner's title insurance policy? A. A prior unrecorded lien on the property. B. A dispute over boundary lines due to a misplaced survey. C. Zoning restrictions imposed by local authorities. D. A forged signature on a previously recorded deed. Answer. C. Zoning restrictions imposed by local authorities. Explanation. Title insurance policies generally do not cover governmental regulations, including zoning restrictions. Zoning laws, C, pertain to how a property can be used but do not impact the ownership of the title. In contrast, unrecorded liens, A, boundary disputes, B, and forgery of a deed, D, directly affect the title and could lead to claims under a standard owner's policy. Relevant rule. Zoning laws are typically excluded from title insurance coverage under ALTA, American Land Title Association standard policies, unless special endorsements are added. Question 5. Scenario-based question. Unless Thompson is purchasing a commercial building in New Mexico, a title search reveals that the building is subject to an easement allowing a utility company to run power lines across the property. The easement is not currently in use, but the utility company has the right to exercise it in the future. What should MS Thompson do before proceeding with the purchase? A. Ignore the easement as it is not in active use. B. Purchase an endorsement to remove the easement from the title. C. Ask the utility company to formally terminate the easement. D. Accept the title with the easement and ensure it is disclosed in the policy. Answer: D. Accept the title with the easement and ensure it is disclosed in the policy. The explanation: easements, especially utility easements, are common in commercial properties. MS Thompson cannot remove the easement without the utility company's consent, and since the easement may be used in the future, it should be accepted with full knowledge. The title insurance policy should disclose this easement so that she is aware of its implications. Asking the utility company to terminate the easement, C, is unlikely to succeed, and purchasing an endorsement to remove the easement, B, is generally not an option. Relevant rule: easements are property rights that must be disclosed and are often part of the public record as governed by New Mexico title insurance regulations. Question 6. Normal practice question. Which of the following is a primary responsibility of an escrow officer in a New Mexico real estate transaction? A. Conducting the title search to identify any defects in the title. B. Collecting and holding funds during the closing process. C. Ensuring the property is free of liens before the sale. D. Issuing the final title insurance policy after the sale is complete. Answer: B. Collecting and holding funds during the closing process. Explanation: the escrow officer's main role is to act as a neutral third party in the transaction, holding funds and ensuring that the terms of the sale are fulfilled by both parties. Title searches are typically conducted by the title insurance company, not the escrow officer. Ensuring the property is free of liens, C, and issuing the final policy, D, are functions of the title company, not the escrow officer. Relevant rule: New Mexico's escrow procedures require escrow officers to manage funds and documents according to the agreement between the buyer and seller, ensuring proper execution of the closing. Question 7. Normal practice question. In the event of a boundary dispute between two property owners in New Mexico, which of the following would likely lead to a title insurance claim? A. The boundary was determined based on a long-standing fence line. B. A prior deed included an inaccurate description of the property lines. C. The boundary is marked by a river that has shifted over time. D. The boundary dispute is based on unclear local zoning laws. Answer: B. A prior deed included an inaccurate description of the property lines. Explanation: an inaccurate description of property boundaries in a prior deed can directly lead to a title insurance claim, as it affects the validity of the title. Boundary disputes caused by physical changes such as rivers shifting, C, or long-standing fences, they are less likely to be covered unless specified by the policy. Zoning laws, D, typically do not impact title insurance as they regulate property use, not ownership. Relevant rule: title insurance protects against defects in legal descriptions of property as provided under New Mexico's title insurance laws. Question 8. Scenario-based question. Mr. Rivera purchased a property, and 2 years later, a contractor files a mechanic's lien, claiming they were never paid for work done by a prior owner. Mr. Rivera was unaware of the work at the time of purchase. How should this issue be addressed under his title insurance policy? A. The title insurance policy will deny the claim since the lien was filed after the purchase. B. The title insurance company will defend Mr. Rivera and pay the claim if valid. C. Mr. Rivera should pay the lien since it relates to work done on the property. D. The title insurance company will cancel the policy due to the undisclosed lien. Answer: B. The title insurance company will defend Mr. Rivera and pay the claim if valid. Explanation: title insurance protects against claims arising from events prior to the issuance of the policy, including mechanics liens that were not recorded at the time of the title search but relate to work performed before the property purchase. If the claim is valid, the insurer will cover the costs. Denying the claim is incorrect because the lien arose from prior work. Mr. Rivera should not pay the lien himself. C, as this is the purpose of title insurance. Cancellation of the policy. D, is not a valid action by the insurer. A relevant rule: title insurance policies cover undisclosed liens that affect the title, provided the liens are related to events that occurred before the insured took ownership per New Mexico title insurance guidelines. Question 9. Normal practice question. Which of the following would not require an endorsement to a New Mexico title insurance policy? A. Adding coverage for unrecorded easements. B. Extending coverage to include future improvements. C. Removing standard exclusions for mineral rights. D. Protecting against claims of forgery in prior ownership. Answer: D. Protecting against claims of forgery in prior ownership. Explanation: protection against forgery is typically included in the standard coverage of title insurance policies and does not require an endorsement. In contrast, unrecorded easements A. Future improvements B. And removing exclusions C. generally require specific endorsements to expand or modify coverage beyond the standard policy. Relevant rule: New Mexico's title insurance policies follow ALTA guidelines where forgery protection is standard, but coverage for certain property rights or exclusions may require additional endorsements. Question 10. Normal practice question. Which of the following best describes the difference between a quitclaim deed and a warranty deed in New Mexico? A. A quitclaim deed offers limited protection, while a warranty deed guarantees clear title. B. A quitclaim deed requires judicial approval, while a warranty deed does not. C. A quitclaim deed transfers personal property, while a warranty deed transfers real property. D. A quitclaim deed only applies to commercial properties, while a warranty deed is for residential properties. Answer A. A quitclaim deed offers limited protection, while a warranty deed guarantees clear title. Explanation: a quitclaim deed transfers whatever interest the grantor has in the property with no guarantees or warranties, making it riskier for the buyer. A warranty deed, on the other hand, provides the highest level of protection, ensuring that the grantor has clear title and will defend against future claims. Quitclaim deeds do not require judicial approval. B. Both types of deeds transfer real property. C. And neither type is restricted to commercial or residential properties. D. Relevant rule: in New Mexico, a warranty deed offers assurances that the title is clear, while a quitclaim deed provides no such guarantees, leaving the buyer with limited recourse. Question 11. Normal practice question. In New Mexico, which of the following is typically required for the lender's title insurance policy but not for the owner's title policy? A. Coverage for existing liens. B. Protection against loss from property boundary disputes. C. Coverage for the full loan amount. D. Protection against zoning law violations. Answer: C. Coverage for the full loan amount. Explanation: the lender's title insurance policy covers the lender's interest in the property, ensuring that the loan amount is protected. This coverage is not required for the owner's policy, which focuses on protecting the buyer's ownership interest. Both policies typically protect against existing liens, A. And boundary disputes. B. But zoning law violations, D. Are generally excluded from both. Relevant rule: under New Mexico title insurance regulations, lenders require title insurance to cover their investment in the property, ensuring that the loan amount is fully protected in the event of a title defect. Question 12. Scenario-based question. MS Lopez purchased a property and 6 months later she receives notice of a tax lien that was placed on the property for unpaid taxes by a prior owner. MS Lopez was unaware of this lien at the time of purchase. How will her title insurance policy address this issue? A. The title insurance company will pay the lien and resolve the issue. B. MS Lopez is responsible for paying the lien since it was discovered after purchase. C. The title insurance company will provide legal defense, but MS Lopez must pay the lien. D. The lien is not covered since it relates to unpaid taxes and tax issues are excluded. Answer A. The title insurance company will pay the lien and resolve the issue. Explanation: title insurance policies protect against undisclosed liens, including tax liens that arose before the property was purchased but were not discovered during the title search. Since this lien was placed by a prior owner and not disclosed during the title search, the insurance company will cover the cost of resolving the lien. MS Lopez should not be held responsible. B. Nor is she required to pay the lien herself. C. Tax liens are not automatically excluded. D. When they were undisclosed and related to prior ownership. Relevant rule: New Mexico title insurance policies cover prior liens that affect the title, provided they were undisclosed during the title search. Question 13. Normal practice question. Which of the following situations would most likely result in a claim against a title insurance policy in New Mexico? A. The buyer discovers that a neighbor has built a fence on their property. B. The buyer is unable to obtain a building permit due to local zoning restrictions. C. The buyer finds out that a portion of their property is within a flood zone. D. The buyer discovers an unrecorded mortgage on the property from the previous owner. Answer: D. The buyer discovers an unrecorded mortgage on the property from the previous owner. Explanation: An unrecorded mortgage is a defect in the title that directly affects the buyer's ownership rights, making it the type of issue that would likely lead to a title insurance claim. A neighbor's fence may or may not impact the title depending on the circumstances. Zoning restrictions B and flood zones C are typically outside the scope of title insurance and do not directly affect title ownership. A relevant rule: title insurance in New Mexico protects against undisclosed or unrecorded encumbrances, such as prior mortgages or liens, that affect the property's title. Question 14. Normal practice question. Which of the following best describes the function of a title search in a New Mexico real estate transaction? A. To verify that the seller has disclosed all defects in the property. B. To identify any legal issues or encumbrances affecting the property title. C. To ensure that the buyer receives the highest level of title protection. D. To confirm that the property is in compliance with local zoning laws. Answer: B. To identify any legal issues or encumbrances affecting the property title. Explanation: a title search is conducted to uncover any existing encumbrances, liens, or legal issues that may affect the property's title. It does not involve verifying the seller's disclosure A or zoning compliance D. The search helps ensure the buyer's interest in the title but does not guarantee the highest level of protection C, which is the role of title insurance. Relevant rule: in New Mexico, title searches are conducted before issuing a title insurance policy to reveal any defects or issues that could affect the buyer's ownership. Question 15. Scenario-based question. Mr. Patel purchased a home and 1 year later he is sued by a neighbor who claims part of Mr. Patel's driveway encroaches on the neighbor's property. The neighbor demands that Mr. Patel remove the portion of the driveway. How will Mr. Patel's title insurance policy respond? A. The title insurance company will deny the claim since encroachments are excluded from coverage. B. The title insurance company will provide legal defense and may pay for the removal if necessary. C. The title insurance policy will not cover the lawsuit, but Mr. Patel may add an endorsement for future protection. D. The title insurance company will resolve the dispute by purchasing the encroached portion of the land. Answer: B. The title insurance company will provide legal defense and may pay for the removal if necessary. Explanation: title insurance typically covers encroachments that were not disclosed at the time of purchase. In this case, the insurance company will defend Mr. Patel against the lawsuit, and if the claim is valid, the insurer may pay to resolve the issue, including removing the encroachment. Encroachments are not automatically excluded. And adding an endorsement C after the fact would not address this issue. Purchasing the land D is unlikely. Relevant rule: New Mexico title insurance covers undisclosed encroachments and provides legal defense for disputes over title-related issues. Question 16. Normal practice question. Which of the following would be considered? A cloud on the title in New Mexico. A minor boundary dispute with a neighbor. B. A lien for unpaid property taxes. C. An easement granted to a utility company. D. A government-issued floodplain designation. Answer: B. A lien for unpaid property taxes. Explanation: a lien for unpaid property taxes represents a claim against the property that must be resolved before clear title can be transferred. This is considered a cloud on the title. Minor boundary disputes A or easements C do not necessarily cloud the title, and a floodplain designation D affects property use but not the title. A relevant rule: title clouds in New Mexico, such as tax liens, must be resolved before transferring title as they represent financial claims on the property. Question 17. Normal practice question. In New Mexico, an owner's title insurance policy typically provides protection against which of the following? A. Future claims arising from a mortgage taken out by the current owner. B. Encroachments that arise after the policy is issued. C. Claims of forgery in previous property transactions. D. Local zoning law changes affecting property use. Answer: C. Claims of forgery in previous property transactions. Explanation: title insurance protects against title defects that occurred before the policy was issued, such as forgery in previous transactions. It does not cover issues that arise from actions taken by the current owner, A, nor does it cover future encroachments, B, or zoning law changes. D. Relevant rule: New Mexico title insurance protects against claims of forgery, fraud, or undisclosed defects that affect the validity of the title before the purchase. Question 18. Scenario-based question. A developer is purchasing a large plot of land in New Mexico and discovers that part of the property is subject to an old easement for a railway company that no longer exists. What should the developer do before proceeding with the purchase? A. Ignore the easement since the railway company no longer exists. B. Ensure that the title insurance policy includes coverage for the easement. C. Obtain a court order to terminate the easement before closing. D. Negotiate with the seller to reduce the purchase price due to the easement. Answer: B. Ensure that the title insurance policy includes coverage for the easement. Explanation: even if the railway company no longer exists, the easement could still affect the property and it should be addressed in the title insurance policy. The developer should not ignore the easement and may not be able to terminate it through court. C. Without significant time and cost. Negotiating with the seller. D. Is an option but does not resolve the title issue. Relevant rule: in New Mexico, title insurance policies can be tailored to include coverage for specific easements that may affect property development. Question 19. Normal practice question. Which of the following best describes the function of a title commitment in New Mexico? A. A preliminary contract between the buyer and seller outlining title terms. B. A legal obligation for the title company to provide future title insurance. C. A summary of the title search and any issues that need to be resolved before closing. D. A disclosure document for any potential environmental hazards affecting the property. Answer: C. A summary of the title search and any issues that need to be resolved before closing. Explanation: a title commitment in New Mexico is a document provided by a title insurance company that outlines the results of the title search and specifies any issues or encumbrances that need to be resolved before the title insurance policy can be issued. It is not a contract between buyer and seller, nor does it serve as a legal obligation for future insurance. B. It also does not address environmental hazards. D. Which are covered under separate disclosures or inspections. Relevant rule: title commitment serve as a preliminary report indicating the conditions under which the title insurance policy will be issued, including any requirements that must be met before closing. Question 20. Normal practice question. What is the primary purpose of a title insurance endorsement in New Mexico? A. To modify the coverage of a standard title insurance policy based on specific circumstances. B. To provide additional legal defense for the title insurance policyholder. C. To replace the existing title insurance policy with a new policy. D. To offer coverage for environmental issues not included in the standard policy. Answer: A. To modify the coverage of a standard title insurance policy based on specific circumstances. Explanation: title insurance endorsements are used to modify or expand the coverage of a standard title insurance policy to address specific issues or circumstances not covered by the standard policy. They do not replace the policy. C. Or provide additional legal defense. B. Beyond the standard policy's terms. They also do not address environmental issues. D. Which are typically outside the scope of title insurance coverage. Relevant rule: endorsements allow title insurance policies to be tailored to cover specific risks or concerns relevant to the property or transaction in New Mexico. Question 21. Scenario-based question. Mr. Green is about to finalize the purchase of a commercial property in New Mexico. During the title examination, an unrecorded judgment lien from a previous owner is discovered. What should Mr. Green's title insurance policy cover regarding this lien? A. The title insurance policy will not cover the judgment lien as it was unrecorded. B. The title insurance policy will cover the judgment lien as a title defect and provide financial compensation. C. The title insurance policy will offer legal defense but not financial compensation for the judgment lien. D. The judgment lien will be ignored since it does not affect the current owner's title. Answer: B. The title insurance policy will cover the judgment lien as a title defect and provide financial compensation. Explanation: a judgment lien from a previous owner is considered a title defect even if it was unrecorded at the time of purchase. Title insurance policies in New Mexico cover such defects by providing financial compensation to resolve the lien. The policy does not exclude coverage based on the lien's recording status, nor does it only offer legal defense without financial compensation. C. Ignoring the lien. D. Is not a valid option. Relevant rule: title insurance in New Mexico covers unrecorded liens that affect the title, ensuring the policyholder is compensated for resolving these issues. Question 22. Normal practice question. What is typically included in the Schedule BOR of a title commitment in New Mexico? A. The legal description of the property. B. Exceptions to coverage such as easements or encumbrances. C. The title insurance company's obligations and responsibilities. D. The premium amount for the title insurance policy. Answer: B. Exceptions to coverage such as easements or encumbrances. Explanation: Schedule BOMA of a title commitment lists the specific exceptions to coverage, such as easements, encumbrances, and other title defects that the title insurance policy will not cover. Schedule contains the legal description A and the policy's obligations C and premium D are not included in Schedule BOMA. Relevant rule: Schedule BOMA details the exceptions to the title policy coverage in New Mexico, ensuring that buyers are aware of any limitations or exclusions. Question 23. Normal practice question. Under New Mexico law, which of the following is most likely to be included in a title insurance policy's coverage? A. Protection against future zoning changes affecting property value. B. Coverage for boundary disputes that arise after the policy is issued. C. Protection against defects that existed prior to the policy issuance. D. Coverage for environmental contamination discovered after the policy is issued. Answer: C. Protection against defects that existed prior to the policy issuance. Explanation: Title insurance policies in New Mexico cover defects in title that existed before the policy was issued. They do not cover future zoning changes or boundary disputes B. that arise after issuance. Environmental contamination D. is generally outside the scope of title insurance coverage. Relevant rule: New Mexico title insurance provides protection against pre-existing title defects as outlined in the policy terms. Question 24. Scenario-based question. MS. Thompson is buying a home in New Mexico and notices a deed restriction in the title search that limits property use. She wants to ensure that the restriction will not affect her plans for remodeling. What should she verify with her title insurance policy? A. That the deed restriction is fully covered under the policy with no exclusions. B. That the restriction is not mentioned in the title commitment, ensuring it's not a concern. C. That the title insurance policy includes an endorsement for future restrictions that might arise. D. That the policy provides coverage for legal disputes over the restriction's enforcement. Answer: A. That the deed restriction is fully covered under the policy with no exclusions. Explanation: MS. Thompson should verify that the deed restriction is addressed in her title insurance policy and that it is covered without exclusions. Title insurance policies may not cover future restrictions, C, or legal disputes over enforcement, D, and simply not mentioning it in the commitment, B, does not resolve the issue. Ensuring comprehensive coverage for existing restrictions is crucial. Relevant rule: Title insurance in New Mexico should clearly outline any covered restrictions or limitations, including deed restrictions affecting property use. Question 25. Normal practice question. Which of the following is a common type of title defect covered by title insurance in New Mexico? A. A neighbor's claim to a portion of the property based on a historical agreement. B. A zoning violation notice issued after the policy was issued. C. A newly discovered environmental hazard on the property. D. An unrecorded deed that contradicts the property's current legal description. Answer: D. An unrecorded deed that contradicts the property's current legal description. Explanation: Title insurance in New Mexico covers defects such as unrecorded deeds that affect the property's legal description. Claims based on historical agreements A, or violations and hazards discovered after the policy B and C are generally not covered. Relevant rule: Coverage includes defects in the title that were present before the policy was issued and affect the property's legal status. Question 26. Normal practice question. In the context of New Mexico title insurance, which of the following is considered an involuntary lien? A. A mortgage loan taken out by the property owner. B. A property tax lien due to unpaid taxes. C. An easement granted to a utility company. D. A mechanic's lien filed for unpaid construction work. Answer: B. A property tax lien due to unpaid taxes. Explanation: An involuntary lien such as a property tax lien is placed against the property without the owner's consent due to non-payment of taxes. A mortgage loan A and mechanic's lien D are typically voluntary liens, and easements C do not represent financial claims but rather rights of use. Relevant rule: Involuntary liens, such as tax liens, are recognized under New Mexico title insurance as claims that affect the property's title and must be resolved. Question 27. Scenario-based question. Mr. Adams is in the process of purchasing a commercial property in New Mexico and finds that a prior owner had a mortgage that was never officially released but was paid off. How should Mr. Adams's title insurance policy address this issue? A. The policy will cover the cost of settling the old mortgage, including any legal fees. B. The policy will not cover this issue since the mortgage was paid off and not officially recorded. C. The title insurance company will offer a discount on the policy premium due to the unresolved mortgage. D. The policy would exclude coverage for any mortgage-related claims not recorded officially. Answer A. The policy will cover the cost of settling the old mortgage, including any legal fees. Explanation. A title insurance policy in New Mexico typically covers issues related to prior mortgages that were not officially released, including the cost of resolving these matters and legal fees. The policy does not exclude such issues based on the mortgage being paid off. B. Or offer a discount. C. Exclusion of coverage for non-recorded issues. D. Is not accurate, as the insurance is intended to resolve these defects. Question 20. Normal practice question. What is typically required for a title company to issue an extended coverage title insurance policy in New Mexico? A. An additional payment beyond the standard policy premium. B. Proof of a recent property appraisal. C. A detailed inspection report from a certified inspector. D. An endorsement specifying additional coverage areas beyond the standard policy. Answer. D. An endorsement specifying additional coverage areas beyond the standard policy. Explanation. Extended coverage title insurance policies often require an endorsement that specifies additional coverage areas beyond what is provided in a standard policy. This additional coverage may include things like zoning issues or future violations. Additional payment. A. Or an appraisal. B. An inspection report. C. Are not typically requirements for issuing extended coverage policies. Relevant rule. Title companies in New Mexico provide extended coverage through endorsements that expand the scope of the policy to cover additional risks. Question 29. Scenario-based question. During the title search for a property in New Mexico, it is discovered that a previous owner had a lien for unpaid homeowner association (HOA) fees. The lien is still active, but the seller has promised to pay it off before closing. What should the buyer ensure regarding the title insurance policy? A. That the title insurance policy will only cover the lien if it remains unpaid at closing. B. That the title insurance policy includes a guarantee that the lien will be resolved before closing. C. That the seller provides a written release of the lien before closing, with the title insurance policy covering any potential disputes. D. That the title insurance policy excludes coverage for liens related to HOA fees. Answer. C. That the seller provides a written release of the lien before closing, with the title insurance policy covering any potential disputes. Explanation. The buyer should ensure that the seller provides a written release of the lien before closing to clear the title. The title insurance policy should cover any potential disputes or issues if the lien is not resolved as promised. The policy itself typically does not guarantee resolution of liens. B. But will address disputes if the lien remains unresolved. C. Excluding coverage for HOA liens. D. Is not standard. A relevant rule. Title insurance policies in New Mexico cover disputes related to unresolved liens, and proper documentation from the seller is required for clear title. Question 30. Normal practice question. Which of the following best describes the purpose of a sublien in the context of New Mexico real estate transactions? A. A lien placed on a property to secure secondary financing. B. A document that proves ownership of a property. C. A temporary lien placed to ensure payment for home repairs. D. An insurance policy that covers liens not disclosed during the title search. Answer A. A lien placed on a property to secure secondary financing. Explanation. A sublien is a secondary lien placed on a property to secure additional financing beyond the primary mortgage. It is not a document of ownership. B. A temporary lien for repairs. C. Or an insurance policy. D. Sublien positions are typically involved in situations where multiple liens are used to secure different types of loans. Relevant rule. In New Mexico real estate transactions, subliens are used to manage multiple layers of financing, with each lien having a specific priority based on its placement.